even though it's only been 60 days since the Fracture live event, which was honestly one of the worst live events ever. It already looks like our next live event is right around the corner. But first, this is Guff. He's a bird, and his entire life he's watched other birds fly around the Fortnite island, but has never actually been able to fly for himself. If you hit the thumbs up button on the count of 3, Guff will finally get to fly. 3, 2, 1. Hey, it worked. Enjoy flying around the island, Guff. Ever since the season started, it's felt like something huge was about to happen, and we were right, because the Oathbound has been constructing the Riftgate device in order to bring this evil, mysterious, shapeless man into our universe. It's leading up to a live event, and we'll be breaking it all down here in this video. But first, look how close we are to 4.36 million subscribers. We couldn't be any closer. It would mean the world to me if you could hit that subscribe button and be my 4,360,000 subscriber. Last video, I asked you guys to name this emote, and there's a bunch of people on the screen right now who got it right. But this video, we have a new emote. If you know the name of this, make sure to leave it down below in the comments. We've wasted too much time. We have an absolutely insane amount of stuff to talk about, including our next live event. Let's hop into a game and let's get into it. Now, before we hop in game and check out the live event countdown, first things first, we only have about a month and a week until this season comes to an end. Chapter 4 Season 2 begins, where a bunch of major map changes will take place, which I'll reveal in a second, that will all be directly caused by the opening of the Riftgate. But Chapter 4 Season 2 will be releasing during the first days of spring, and spring itself is all about rebirth and renewal, where the plants and trees start growing again, which coincidentally happens to be the exact same thing that's taking place on the Fortnite map. Because check this out, once you jump out of the battle bus, if you head to this little mountain right outside of the Citadel location, you'll actually find some plants that weren't here last week, actually being a bunch of bamboo. What's interesting about this is if you go up and try and destroy it, you're literally not able to. Right when we saw this, we were obviously confused. Almost everybody in the community thinks it's teasing a new point of interest, all brought in by the Riftgate, which is essentially going to act as a portal to different realities. Some people even theorize that this bamboo could be teasing a new jungle location, as well as a new ability where you're able to swing across vines like Tarzan. But what's even more likely is this is Epic Games teasing the return of the Lucky Landing location, which has basically been the only POI ever where we were actually able to find bamboo. It's very likely that we can see this location show up exactly like we saw the Chapter 4 map be created during the Fracture live event, because Epic Games hit a teaser in the Winterfest trailer where you were actually able to see an entirely brand new part of the island being added to it. On top of that, there's also a brand new Season 2 location that's been leaked known as the Throne Room, which at first reminds me a lot of Malik's throne at the Rave Cave from Chapter 3 Season 3. This time around, it'll likely be for that mysterious shapeless man the Rift Warden's been talking about, and we still have to assume it's Geno himself, since obviously the ageless character is simply just a snapshot of him left to rule the Empire. And coming up next, we're gonna check out the live event countdown. But first, we have to discuss something very important. So obviously, we know Ageless is the leader of the Oathbound faction, and not the Rift Warden, because the Rift Warden himself is simply the head alchemist of the Oathbound, or in simpler terms, the head chemist, who's been tasked to set up the Riftgate by the order of a weird, mysterious, shapeless being. And all this mysterious activity going down with the Oathbound as they continue to construct the Riftgate caught the attention of the members of the Seven, even though they're still totally missing from the Fortnite island, as they have been for the last few months, because AMIE, the little AI assistant created by the scientists, is actually able to test out the Riftgate and send a bunch of artifacts through it, which caused us to find out that the members of the Seven are experiencing some major changes. It's very likely that the members of the Seven are still in the nothing, which is why they're experiencing these changes. But before the live event happens, the Riftgate's construction needs to be fully completed. First step of this is we actually had to go around the Citadel and install power to it. There were a couple different locations that were super easy to find, but after we hooked up the power, the Rift Warden went on to reveal this.
I came to the Earthbound at the order of the Shapeless Man. He yearns for a Riftgate, and if we fail, he may destroy us.
However, this wasn't near enough power to fully operate the Riftgate, so the Rift Warden had a new idea to actually use the kinetic door laying around the map to power it, which are essentially those super cool blue and purple glowing rocks you're able to find around the island. And these things are super powerful because you can actually use them to launch yourself across the map. After collecting all the ore, the Rift Warden says we now have enough energy to power all of the stars. However, we still need to forge an entirely new alloy out of the ore. We had to go around the map, damage some metal structures, and then then collect the metal it dropped before taking it over to Scrap Knight Jules, who's obviously the main builder for the Oathbound, has been largely responsible for the entire construction of the Rift Gate, where we then use Scrap Knight Jules' forging setup to create an entirely new metal alloy, which makes the Rift Warden very happy as he goes on to say this.
The champion has set our coordinates. Soon, we will attempt to open the gate.
Confirming that the Rift Gate is almost fully operational and will be opening very, very soon. So soon, in fact, that has actually already been activated, and one of the most important characters in all of Fortnite has entered it. Because check this out, in the second part of this week's Oathbound Quest, we actually had to make contact with AMIE herself, who went on to say this about the scientist.
The scientist is facing a fate darker than the worst imaginable. I need a body built for the other side of that Rift Gate.
Meaning that AMIE is determined to enter the Rift Gate to go after her creator. Only issue is the entire time we've known AMIE, she's just been an AI inside of this phone. So before she can enter the Rift Gate, she needs to build herself a body. We got to help her directly by tracking down her blueprints alongside some very important computer chips. And then her body was basically fully constructed. We got to see her in the form of a hologram where she bid us all farewell, saying that she's going to find and retrieve the scientist himself. Now, AMIE going after the scientist doesn't just confirm that the Rift Gate is focused on the scientist's reality, it also confirms that the Oathbound aren't the only people who know how to use the Rift Gate, and it is possible to actually use it for good. Anyway, all the Fortnite OGs may actually recognize the body that AMIE was given, as it's actually the AIM skin that was released all the way back in Chapter 1 Season 6. That was the secret skin, unlocked after completing the hunting party challenges, and it's literally the exact same skin, down to the very last detail. Essentially, this confirms what we already knew, that the Fortnite storyline is one giant loop, likely meaning that Chapter 1 actually happens after Chapter 4, which is how we got to see the AMIE skin 3 chapters early, and also why that skin didn't seem to make any sense at the time. But now it's all starting to make sense, with AMIE and her new body entering into the Rift Gate. She likely traveled all the way back to Chapter 1 Season 6 to retrieve the scientist. However, you can't forget, the scientist didn't arrive in Fortnite until Season X, where he came crashing down into the Fortnite island, riding in that giant meteor. But now it's finally time for what you've all been waiting for, and it goes like this. So you remember, before Chapter 3 Season 4 was first released, at the end of Season 3, we started seeing a bunch of members of the Seven disappearing from the map. It all started off with the Paradigm NPC, where after she disappeared, we got this teaser where you could see her hand being sucked into the chrome. And in the following weeks, every single member of the Seven eventually went missing from the Fortnite island, which got us all super excited for the next season of Fortnite to find out what actually happened. Basically, the exact reverse of that is happening right now thanks to the Rift Gate starting to bring back the members of the Seven. It'll all start off, obviously, with the scientist first, who's probably the most technologically savvy of them all, and once he makes his return, retrieving the rest of the members of the Seven will be that much easier with the scientist's help. The only question that truly still remains is who is that shapeless character the Rift Warden keeps mentioning. Personally, I'm almost 100% confident that that has to be the actual Geno himself, who likely doesn't want to see the members of the Seven return at all, because that will just directly threaten the Oathbound's control of the entire island. One thing's for sure, this is all going to be coming together in a massive live event, either this season or maybe even next season. As soon as it's announced, I'll make a tweet over my Twitter account at HomeAtGamesYT. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.